What is up, everybody? Welcome back to the Mid-Level Media channel, your hub for everything physical media and entertainment. I am Ken, and today, guys, I am here to do a little overview review of this Arrow Video Enter the Video Store Empire of Screams box set release. So I already did an unboxing of this on the channel, but that was before I watched any of these. So I have watched all 5 of the movies in this set. We have the Dungeonmaster, Dolls, Cellar Dweller, Arena, and Robot Jock. So I'd never seen any of these movies before, but for some reason, like, I was just really excited to get this box set in. I don't know, it's really cool. Like, the packaging's awesome. Like, this is almost like, it's not that I was down on Arrow Video or anything like that, but I don't know, they just hadn't really been hitting it for me, or I think anybody else really for that matter, for the past like year or so. But the past couple of months have been pretty good. And like, when they announced this, I was like, damn, that's really cool packaging and artwork. And I don't know, this is almost like single-handedly rejuvenated my interest in Arrow Video and passion for the boutique label. So I was super excited to watch this. Even though, like I said, I have no nostalgia for these movies. I never seen any of these movies. And these are all from Empire Pictures, which was a studio in the 80s that was, I think, founded by Charles Band, who went on to do Full Moon Features in the 90s with Puppet Master and all that stuff. He's created so many different like things, like IPs in both sci-fi, fantasy, and horror, especially. Like, most of the Full Moon stuff would fall under the horror genre, but the stuff he was doing in Empire Pictures in the 80s was like really interesting stuff, and that is reflected in this box set right here. This is not just a horror box set. Like, there's fantasy in here, there's science fiction, there's action, there's horror for sure. But it's a lot of different things. So I think that if you aren't just a horror fan, like, you can still enjoy a box set like this, but you still have to kind of be a genre fan. Now, I will say before I dive in, I don't want to take too much time on this video. I did an elaborate unboxing of it. I'll probably show off the posters and stuff, reversible cover art again. But before I get into it, I really just want to give my thoughts on the actual like films itself and the transfers and the special features and all that stuff. But I will say this is not currently available on Amazon anymore. I did that unboxing a few weeks ago. It's not currently available. It was for like $70. I guess it's sold out. But it is still available on the Arrow Video website. I think you have to import it, though, if you want to get it. It's on Zavi as well. And it is on Diabolic, and it's on Orbit, and I believe it's on Grindhouse. But any links that I can find that has this box set, I will put them down below in the description. Let's go ahead and crack into it. So, of course, you know, it has this little like slip cover on it, which is super cool. And then you take that off. But the artwork on here, and after watching all the movies, like, the artwork just means a lot more to me. But you can just pick up on all their references. But just really cool packaging, guys. Again, I did an in-depth unboxing of this a couple of weeks ago, but I wanted to talk about it again because I just got done watching all these movies, and I'm excited to get into it. Let me pull out this little booklet that they gave, which is kind of like an Arrow Video magazine style thing, and it's super cool. Empire of Screams, own them today. So I'll kind of flip through that a little bit. You got that monster from the Cellar Dweller. But yeah, all these movies were so cool. They're so cool. So let's go ahead and dive into each movie individually. I'm going to start with the Dungeonmaster. So this one, look, talking about the transfers, these are all 2K transfers except for Cellar Dweller. That's the only one that's not a 2K transfer. Now, it's on a 1080p Blu-ray, but I thought all the transfers looked great. Like, this one really looked great. This is kind of a fantasy movie. It's got 3 cuts on this one disc, and they do have some seamless branching involved, which means that they all draw from like the same movie, the same cut. They just kind of manipulate it in different ways. I'm not exactly sure. I'm not a disc technician here, but some way that they don't think it's a bunch of compression is what I'm saying. They kind of draw from the same movie, and they kind of manipulate it and split it up how they see fit. But there's the pre-release version, which is the one that I watched. And that includes, I think, I think it's the longest cut in here, which the movie's still 77 minutes, but that was called Rage War. I think that's the one that they released overseas. And there's the international version, Rage War. They're both called Rage War. And then there's the original theatrical cut of Dungeon Master. So I think the only thing that's really like different from the pre-release cut is the fact that there's some nudity in it, which there's some nudity in the beginning of this movie. So of course, you know, I see, okay, the only difference is nudity. I'm watching the one with nudity for sure. But each one, they like switch up the order of the actual like battles and challenges. So I thought that that was kind of cool. And it kind of, I think that more than anything else, more than any other, because a lot of like different cuts, they'll mix up a couple of scenes, or they'll add a couple of minutes here and there, or maybe they'll just add blood in here or something like minor stuff. But I think like changing the actual like makeup and construction, or how the movie is constructed narratively, I think that's actually pretty cool. And it actually incentivizes me to want to go back and watch each cut, because I want to see how they mix up the different challenges and like what order they place them in. So I thought that was actually pretty cool. But as far as the movie itself, I really enjoyed it. It's a fantasy movie. It's about this like computer programmer. And of course it's back in the 80s. So the way that they portray computers is completely different than they do now. His girlfriend gets taken to this like otherworldly realm, like another dimension. And she's like being captured by this, I don't know if he's supposed to be like Satan or something. He's some kind of like overlord of this world. He's played by Bull from Night Court, which is actually pretty funny. But he makes the lead character take part in like 7 different challenges. So it's kind of like an anthology type movie, because in the way that it's the same characters going throughout each story, but the way that they present them all is kind of in anthology form. So I thought that that was pretty cool. I thought this was a really cool movie. And like when I think about it, I was like, damn, that might be the one I had the best time with. I don't know, this whole box set. Again, I enjoyed all these movies. I'm going to show off this poster though real quick. And, okay, so it actually says right here, he's an overlord. So it says he is the overlord of strange beasts and stolen souls. So yeah, he's like trying to steal his girlfriend's soul or something, and he makes him take part in all these different like fights and challenges and stuff, and kind of test his mettle against the beasts and the monsters. And like I said, the 2K scan here looked great. There's also new special features here. Like, I can't commend Arrow Video enough. Like, this is why this is the box set of the year for me, because adding in all these cool special features, you do have 3 different versions of this film on one disc. You have new audio commentary with star Jeffrey Bryan. There's a I Reject Your Reality and Substitute My Own, a new interview with the star of the movie. And I've said it before, but this is going for $70. Like, if Arrow Video were to release this by itself for $27.99 like they usually do, like, it would almost be worth it for that money. Like, this this one by itself. I mean, with 3 cuts, new audio commentary, new feature interview, like, it's just incredible what Arrow Video did with this box set. Just absolutely amazing. Let's go ahead and jump into the next one. This is the one that I watched first. I was really looking forward to watching this because this is a Stuart Gordon film from, I believe, I'm trying to see the date here, 1986 this came out. Dolls. So I have heard a lot of great things about this movie. I like the kind of puppet toy type movie, doll movies. Of course, I love Child's Play, but I grew up on Puppet Master, Demonic Toys. So for some reason, I never checked this movie out. This was a really fun, extremely entertaining horror film for sure. It's definitely really gory. But the stop motion effects that they used for the dolls was actually pretty damn cool and pretty damn freaky, like when you actually saw them move. So I thought this was a really cool one. It's about a family that breaks down in front of this old couple's house, and then they go in there, and then they discover that the dolls that they've created are alive. And there's a whole thing where they're kind of like, I think they're like witches or magicians or something. But it's a crazy movie. It goes in some wild directions. There's some other characters that come into the fold throughout the movie. But I don't know. I thought it was really cool. I really enjoyed it. I believe that, yeah, this is a new 2K restoration from a 35mm Inter Positive. And there was a new audio commentary as well. Sorry, guys, I have to read off here because I cannot remember everything that was in all these. I know I watched all the special features, didn't listen to the new audio commentaries. New audio commentary here. You have an archive audio commentary. You have an archive audio commentary as well. So you have 2 archive audio commentaries. One of them is with the director, Stuart Gordon, who I love, like Reanimator and From Beyond are like 2 of my favorite horror movies from the 80s. 3 audio commentaries on this release, guys. Let's just say Arrow Video did not skimp. Assembling Dolls, a new interview with Lee Percy, editor of Dolls, Reanimator and From Beyond, Toys of Terror, The Making of Dolls, an archive featurette with Gordon Usna, Purdy Gordon Williams, Brian Usna, Charles Band. So a lot of great features here. You have a brand new interview, you have a brand new audio commentary. So like I said, this was also released, I think, by Shout Factory. I think some of these, I'm not sure how many of these were released by Shout Factory before Scream Factory, but I believe a couple of them were. So the fact that they used all these special features from the Scream Factory release, and then they did new ones as well. They didn't have to do that. They could have just poured everything over, but they didn't. They added some new stuff in there themselves, so I really appreciate that. So Really cool release. And all these guys have art cards in them, and they all have posters. And I don't know, it's just really cool. And they all have like original cover art as well. I just think that Arrow Video just absolutely knocked this out of the park. So let's go ahead and jump into disc 3, the third release, which was Cellar Dweller. And I think that's the classic artwork, but looks freaking amazing. I love it. And this is the one that I feel like some people said was the weakest movie of the box set. And maybe it was, but I also really enjoyed it. I thought it was a really fun monster movie, creature feature. I like the effects, the way that the monster looked when they actually showed him. Like, they didn't really drag it out. Like, they got you right into seeing the monster, I think, after like the first 20 or 25 minutes. So really great creature effects, though. I enjoyed this one quite a bit. Again, this is the only one that wasn't a 2K scan, but I still thought it looked really great. I didn't even really notice while watching. But additional picture restoration by Arrow Film. So they did work on the picture restoration of this. I don't know the last time this was released. This could be one that hasn't had a release since VHS or something. I'm not 100% sure. But you also get a new audio commentary with this one. You get Grabbed by the Ghoulies, a new appreciation of John Carl Bulcher, who directed this movie. And I did watch that whole special feature. I thought that was a great special feature, kind of talking about the director of this movie. He also directed Friday the 13th Part 7. So that was a really great new special feature for Arrow Video. You get Inside the Cellar, a new interview with special makeup effects artist Michael Deek. So 2 new special features in this one, plus a new audio commentary. So this one has more new special features than any of them so far. Original production notes, original sales sheets, VHS trailer, Empire Pictures trailer reel, image galleries including behind the scenes photos courtesy of special makeup effects artist Michael Deek. So this thing is just jam-packed and loaded with special features here. So I thought that Cellar Dweller was actually a really great release or component of this set. So, and I heard some people kind of shitting on it a little bit, but that's the original, not the original, but the newly commissioned Arrow Video artwork right there. Again, it has art cards and posters. Every single one of these has art cards and posters in them. I'm going to show them off again because when I did the unboxing, I couldn't really show these off as well, but this poster is freaking sick. Like, I love that poster. Let's go ahead and get into what's the next one. Arena. This is actually the second one that I watched. I love this. This is the classic poster of this movie. Man versus Monster. It's very simple, but also it just kind of gets right into it. Tells you exactly what this movie is. I really enjoyed this movie a lot. This is like a futuristic. This is like Rocky if Rocky had to fight a bunch of like overpowered monsters. So this is a really cool movie. There's definitely some things about it that are a little cheesy. I think that the actor in this movie definitely played it very over the top, but I thought it was super fun. Like I'd say that, I don't know if I enjoyed this the most out of every movie in this box set, but I'd say maybe it's my number one. Like, I really enjoyed this one quite a bit. It's a futuristic movie. It's a science fiction film more than it is, you know, a horror creature movie, but I thought there were some really cool parts. Like, some of the fight sequences are really well done. Even on a budget, like, these movies do not feel cheap. Like, they feel like big theatrical productions from the 80s. So I got to give them credit there. So yeah, just great special features in this one. I definitely watched all the special features here. And yeah, this is just a really awesome one. I'm really just kind of blown away by this release and just everything that's included here. And I love the alternate artwork as well. And I'll go ahead and show off the poster real quick. Some great stuff in this release. Bam. Bam. Awesome, awesome. And getting into the last one, this is actually the one that I watched last night. So this is the last one that I watched, and that is Robot Jox. And this is also directed by Stuart Gordon. So I don't think I've seen a Stuart Gordon movie quite like this. This definitely falls on the side of more sci-fi than horror. But what this reminded me of actually was Pacific Rim, because you had these people that had to train to pilot these mechs to go to war with other mechs. So it's basically like it was post the apocalypse, like they had nuclear war, and it kind of took out all of civilization. And in the aftermath, in the wake of that, you had these two, I can't remember what they were called, but these two sides that were now like warring to get territories, but they wouldn't like full on create armies to battle each other. they created this system of fighting robot to robot, mech to mech, and it was kind of like, it was done like a game type of thing, which is still kind of confusing. They were battling under serious terms and they were trying to take over different territories, but yet they also treated it like it was a game as well, which they had like an audience and everything, which didn't quite make sense to me why they would do that, but it is what it is. It's Robot Jock. So, but this is another one that I really enjoyed. Thought it had some really great sequences with the mechs fighting each other. Like I said, this is where movies like Pacific Rim came from. This is where like Power Rangers came from. I'm sure there was stuff before this, obviously like Godzilla back in the day. This is nothing new, like mechs and monsters and that kind of stuff fighting with each other, but I thought it was really cool and I thought it was really well done. Like it felt like, I cannot state just how much these movies just feel like big budget production. Now this is the only one that doesn't have a new audio commentary, but there are 2 archival audio commentaries with Stuart Gordon and the effects director Paul Gentry. So you do have a lot of good stuff in this release beyond the audio commentaries. Crash and Burn, a new interview with the actor, new interview with the actress. You also have The Scale of Battle, David Allen and FX Robot Jocks, a new appreciation of stop motion animator David Allen by those who knew him. So that's a brand new one. And you have another archival interview. You have original sales sheets, original production notes, theatrical trailer, image gallery. So this one has it all in this release right here. So really enjoyed Robot Jocks for sure. Let me show that poster off real quick. Great artwork. Like I love both of the artworks on this one. The newly commissioned one I think is great. And then the old school one is freaking awesome too. So yeah, if you like big mechs fighting and battling, I think you'll enjoy this one. Yeah, it's from the 80s. Yeah, there's a certain level of cheese, but I actually think it was really well done production-wise. So really good movie. Now let's get it. I almost dropped that. Let's get into ranking these. I do want to rank all these real quick for you guys, and I'm not exactly sure where I'm going to go, but I'm going to go ahead and say that Arena was my favorite. I really did enjoy Arena, so that's my number 1. Getting into my number 2, I would probably say Dolls was my number 2, and then I would go Dungeonmaster for number 3, and then I would go honestly Robot Jocks for number 4, and then I would go Cellar Dweller, which I still enjoyed Cellar Dweller, but this was easily the weakest of the box set. So that's my ranking, guys. That's my review of the Empire of Screams box set from Arrow Video, the Enter the Video Store box set. This is definitely, it's up there. It's a contender for release of the year for me. I really enjoyed this box set, but thank y'all so much for watching. I will link everything down below that I possibly can, the way for you all to pick this up if you still haven't grabbed it yet. So definitely check out those links down below. Like, comment, subscribe, turn on the bell notifications for all future videos, and follow me on my social media accounts. Those links are down below in the description, and we'll see you next time.